So, Michael, you're one of the contributors to Speak Now.
Yeah.
This lovely book that's just been launched tonight at the Avid Reader.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your contribution, your essay that's part of Speak Now? And can you also give us your opinion on how the Labor Party perhaps has responded so far on gay rights in recent years?
Well, my essay is... Now you've got me talking about two things. Okay, my essay is a critical essay because I don't actually believe in marriage. I actually regard marriage as the mainstay of our patriarchal heteronormative society, so I actually think it's bad for same-sex relationships. I actually argue in my essay, well, first of all, I demythologise the link between religion and marriage, because I point out that marriage has never been a Christian institution as such. It predates Christianity. It's an institution of ancient patriarchy, and it became taken over by the church, which of course originally was very suspicious of marriage. And of course Christianity is not itself a family values religion. Jesus is not a family values person, and Christianity is actually the only religion I know of that clearly enunciates a vision of a world, a utopia, without marriage. There's four gospel references where Jesus says, in the kingdom of heaven there will be no marriage or giving in marriage. So Christians actually look forward to a world without marriage. So Christian defenders of marriage don't know their religion. Consequently, of course, in earlier Christianity there was, and earlier Europe, up until about 3 centuries ago, marriage was not the only institution for relationship recognition. There was a plurality. Marriage subsisted within a world of friendship, and there are institutions and rituals celebrating friendship, same-sex friendship primarily, rituals which gave people kinship, rituals which celebrated the friendship, which brought in obligations and rights and responsibilities as well, all of which were abolished as marriage became the only institution. Marriage itself, I argue, is discriminatory. It celebrates only monogamy, and it's always hierarchical. There's no such thing as an equal marriage in law. And of course, so I actually argue for an order which will put marriage in its place, and which will revive and restore the pluriformity of relationship models. And we celebrate the varieties, recognise the varieties of different relationships that we have. Marriage will let us heteronormatise us, and will be, just as it doesn't work for straights, it will work even less for us homo. As far as Labor is concerned, Labor's so-called equality reforms back in 2008 treated us with absolute disrespect because they did not include any grandfathering clause whatsoever. Unlike every other community which has been impacted by any sort of legal change, particularly in areas of pensions and benefits, taxation changes, etc., where there's going to be disadvantages, as there were for us, and particularly disadvantages for people who are poor, i.e. people on unemployment, on pensions of any sort. Labor refused to bring in or acknowledge us as needing such protections. They dismissed us completely, treated us with contempt. There was no grandfathering, so consequently people on pensions all of a sudden found themselves treated after years and years and years of never being married or never being given any sorts of rights or recognition. They now suddenly have their incomes diminished. Everyone suffered as a result who were on benefits. So it's all right, okay, if you're rich, and I don't really care about upper-class rich queens and dykes, or gay ladies perhaps. They've got the money, they can buy whatever they want, but it's the poor queers who suffered the most as a result of these laws, and Labor deserves condemnation. And I should also add that our state Labor government shows that same disregard which we saw originally with the decriminalisation and Wayne Goss brought in the differential age of consent, again playing on homophobia. Labor has never tried to equalise that age of consent. It should also be lowered, in my opinion, to something like in the European model, to 14 or 15 and empowering young people. But Labor, state Labor, also has the capacity to bring in relationship registers like in Tasmania, and also has the capacity to, again as in Tasmania, to formally recognise relationships through things like civil unions and recognising civil unions, civil partnerships, and including same-sex marriages too from overseas, just as they do in Tasmania, but our state Labor government hasn't even bothered to do that. Mind you, they will probably pass a motion calling on the federal government to recognise same-sex marriage. That's good, that's nice of them, it's easy to do, it costs nothing for them, and they can again, like everything else they've done, ignore their own responsibilities and sort of wipe their hands of it. So Labor has treated us like contempt. They're almost as bad as the Tories, who treat us like dirt. No self-respecting person, queer person should vote ever for the coalition in their lives. Labor is not much better, and they've certainly treated us with nothing but contempt. And any self-respecting queer person should never get married either. You don't demean yourself. I've got straight friends who will never marry. They'll be in long-term relationships. So if you're queer and wanting to celebrate your relationship, invent your own. Don't demean yourself with this outdated patriarchal institution called marriage. Okay, end of rant.
Have you finished?
Well, I asked
Has he taken a photo of you?
Has he been filming it?
Oh, he's been filming it.